Content warning: this video discusses military service, stolen valor, and contains confrontational courtroom footage. While no physical violence occurs, the language and tension are intense. Imagine standing in a courtroom. You're there for something minor, maybe a traffic ticket, maybe a small dispute. You think you can smooth things over, maybe get a discount, maybe gain some sympathy. So you tell the judge you're a veteran, you're wearing a Marine Corps uniform. You ask for a military discount that wasn't given to you at the business you're disputing with. Seems like a solid strategy, right? Who's going to question a Marine? Except the judge is a Marine. A real one. And he's about to make you regret every single lie that just came out of your mouth. You're an ex-Marine. Yes, sir. You said you were trying to get a military discount. Yes, Your Honor. We did not give him the discount because I asked him for a discount card. He showed me no card. Well, I had left it at home. That's when the judge's entire demeanor changed. I'm very close to jumping out of this judge's robe and throwing you through that door. The defendant looked confused. What had he said wrong? Then came the words that would go viral, that would be replayed millions of times, that would become a rallying cry for every real veteran who's ever encountered someone pretending to have served. There's no such thing as an ex-Marine, sir. The reason I know that is because I'm a Marine. The courtroom went silent. The defendant's face drained of color, because in that moment he realized he hadn't just lied to a judge, he'd lied to a brother in arms. He disrespected the uniform in front of someone who'd actually earned the right to wear it. And the judge wasn't done. Step up here, let me see something, because that is not military issue. Do you know what the term stolen valor means, sir? I served in the Marines. I wore that uniform. It's not even on you properly. I know what it's like to be on a field of battle. You do not know what that is like. That uniform you will never wear again, because if I find out about it, me and you, we're going to have problems, because I take that personal. What you just heard was one of the most powerful confrontations ever captured in a courtroom. A moment where a real Marine, a judge who'd served his country, who'd worn the uniform with honor, came face to face with someone committing one of the most disrespectful acts imaginable: stolen valor. Over the next 40 minutes, we're going to break down this entire case from start to finish. We'll examine what stolen valor actually is, why it's not just disrespectful but illegal, and what makes this particular confrontation so significant. We'll explore the psychology of people who fake military service, the devastating impact it has on real veterans, and the legal consequences when you're caught. We'll watch the full courtroom exchange and analyze every word, every gesture, every moment of this judge's measured but devastating response. And we'll discuss the bigger questions this case raises. Why do people do this? How common is stolen valor? And what should the punishment be? But before we dive in, let me be clear about something. This isn't about gatekeeping military service. This isn't about saying civilians can't wear camouflage or that only veterans deserve respect. This is about people who deliberately lie about serving, who wear uniforms they never earned, who claim experiences they never had, and who do it for personal gain, whether that's a discount, sympathy, status, or money. And when you do that in front of a real Marine, especially one who's also a judge with the power to hold you accountable, you're about to learn a lesson you'll never forget. If you respect military service and believe stolen valor should be called out, hit that like button. If you want to see more cases where justice meets respect, subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you've ever encountered stolen valor yourself, whether you're a veteran or a civilian who spotted the fake, drop a comment with your story. Now let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about what brought this defendant into the courtroom in the first place. The defendant, let's call him Marcus, was in court over what should have been a minor consumer dispute. He'd visited a local business that offered military discounts. According to the business owner, Marcus had asked for the military discount but couldn't provide any proof of service. Most businesses that offer military discounts require some form of verification. A military ID card, a VA card, a DD-214 discharge papers, some official documentation. It's not about not trusting veterans, it's about preventing exactly what Marcus was attempting: fraud. When Marcus couldn't provide proof, the business declined to give him the discount. They served him at regular price, transaction complete. But Marcus wasn't satisfied. He believed he was entitled to that discount. So he filed a complaint in small claims court, arguing that the business had discriminated against him by refusing to honor his military service. Here's where Marcus made his first critical mistake. He showed up to court wearing a Marine Corps uniform. Not just any uniform, dress blues, the formal uniform Marines wear for ceremonies and official events. The uniform that represents the honor, courage, and commitment of the Marine Corps. Marcus thought this would strengthen his case. Look, Your Honor, I'm clearly a Marine. This business disrespected my service. I deserve compensation. What Marcus didn't know was that the judge presiding over this case, Judge Dennis Stone, name changed for this video, was himself a Marine Corps veteran. He'd served for over a decade, including combat deployments. And Judge Stone knew the moment Marcus walked into his courtroom that something was wrong. Because when you've worn the uniform, when you've earned it, when you've lived the Marine Corps values, you can spot a fake. Let me explain what Judge Stone saw that civilians might miss. The uniform wasn't fitted properly. Military uniforms, especially dress uniforms, are tailored to fit precisely. Marcus's uniform was loose, ill-fitting, clearly not sized for him. The ribbons and medals were wrong. Marines earn ribbons and medals through specific service, deployments, and achievements. The ribbons on Marcus's uniform didn't match any logical service record. Some were in the wrong order. Some shouldn't have been together. The insignia was incorrect. The rank insignia, unit patches, and other identifiers on the uniform didn't make sense. It was like wearing a patchwork of different units and ranks that no actual Marine would have. The bearing was off. Marines carry themselves with a specific bearing, posture, confidence, the way they stand at attention or parade rest. Marcus didn't have it. But Judge Stone didn't interrupt immediately. He let the proceeding begin. He wanted to see how far Marcus would take this lie. The business owner testified first, explaining that they'd asked for proof of service and Marcus couldn't provide it. "Did he show you any identification?" Judge Stone asked. "No, Your Honor, he said he'd left his military ID at home. I told him he could come back with it and we'd apply the discount retroactively, but he never returned." "And you offer military discounts regularly?" "Yes, Your Honor, we have many veteran customers. We're proud to support those who served. We just need to verify service, which is standard practice." It was a reasonable explanation. The business wasn't anti-military, they just wanted proof. Then it was Marcus's turn. "Sir, you claim you're entitled to a military discount. Did you serve in the military?" "Yes, sir, I'm an ex-Marine." That's when Judge Stone's expression changed. Most people wouldn't catch it, but anyone familiar with the Marines would have known Marcus had just made a catastrophic error. In the Marine Corps, there's a saying that every Marine knows. Once a Marine, always a Marine. It's not just a slogan, it's a fundamental truth of Marine Corps culture. You can be discharged, you can retire, you can finish your service, but you never stop being a Marine. The phrase ex-Marine is considered disrespectful. If you served honorably, you're a Marine for life. If you were dishonorably discharged, you might be called a former Marine, but even that's debated. But ex-Marine, that's not a term real Marines use. Marcus didn't know this because Marcus had never served. Judge Stone leaned forward. "You're an ex-Marine." "Yes, sir." "And you said you were trying to get a military discount." "Yes, Your Honor." "We did not give him the discount," the business owner interjected, "because I asked him for a discount card. He showed me no card." "Well, I had left it at home," Marcus explained as if this excused everything. Judge Stone stood up from the bench. His voice remained controlled, but the anger beneath it was unmistakable. "I'm very close to jumping out of this judge's robe and throwing you through that door." Marcus froze. Suddenly this wasn't going how he'd expected. "There's no such thing as an ex-Marine, sir. The reason I know that is because I'm a Marine." The courtroom went completely silent. The bailiff straightened. The court reporter looked up. Everyone realized what was happening. A real Marine was confronting a faker. "Step up here," Judge Stone ordered. "Let me see something." Marcus hesitated, but he had no choice. He approached the bench. Judge Stone examined the uniform from his elevated position, his jaw tightened. Because that is not military issue. He pointed to specific elements of the uniform, the fit, the ribbons, the insignia. Each observation was a nail in Marcus's coffin. Do you know what the term stolen valor means, sir? Marcus didn't answer, he couldn't. Judge Stone continued, his voice now carrying the weight of personal offense. I served in the Marines, I wore that uniform, it's not even on you properly. I know what it's like to be on a field of battle, you do not know what that is like. Let's pause here and understand what Judge Stone was really saying. Wearing the Marine Corps uniform isn't just about putting on clothes, it represents surviving boot camp, 13 weeks of the most intense military training in the world. Earning the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, the Marine Corps emblem given only to those who complete training. Living the Marine Corps values, honor, courage, commitment. Potentially deploying to combat zones and risking your life. Losing brothers and sisters in arms. Carrying physical and mental scars from service. Making sacrifices that most civilians will never understand. When someone fakes that, when they put on the uniform without earning it, without living it, without bleeding for it, they're not just lying. They're stealing the honor of every real Marine who earned that title. And Judge Stone was about to make sure Marcus understood exactly what he'd done. Judge Stone's voice remained steady, but every word carried the force of personal betrayal. That uniform you will never wear again, because if I find out about it, me and you, we're going to have problems, because I take that personal. This is important to understand. Judge Stone didn't threaten violence, he didn't lose his judicial composure, but he made absolutely clear that wearing that uniform again would have consequences. As a judge, he had legal tools at his disposal. He could hold Marcus in contempt of court, refer the case to prosecutors for stolen valor charges, issue restraining orders against wearing military uniforms, impose fines and penalties beyond the original dispute. But more than that, Judge Stone spoke Marine to Marine, except Marcus wasn't a Marine, and that was the point. In the military, especially in the Marines, there's a code. If someone disrespects the uniform, if someone lies about service, other veterans handle it. Sometimes that means confrontation. Sometimes that means public shaming, sometimes that means legal action. Judge Stone was doing all three, from a position of legal authority. Remove that uniform, Judge Stone ordered, right now in my courtroom. Marcus stood frozen, humiliated, not knowing what to do. Do you have other clothes? In my car, Your Honors. Go to your car, change, come back, and when you come back, we're going to have a very different conversation about this case. Bailiff, go with him. The bailiff escorted Marcus out of the courtroom. The entire gallery watched in stunned silence. When Marcus returned 15 minutes later, he was wearing civilian clothes, jeans, and a t-shirt. His entire demeanor had changed. The false confidence was gone. He looked like what he actually was, a man caught in a lie, facing a judge who had every reason to throw the book at him. Judge Stone addressed him directly. Sir, I'm going to explain something to you. What you did today is not just disrespectful, it's illegal. He pulled up the Stolen Valor Act on his computer and read portions aloud. The Stolen Valor Act makes it a federal crime to fraudulently claim receipt of certain military decorations with the intent to obtain money, property, or other tangible benefit. While the law is specifically about claiming medals you didn't earn, many states have additional laws about fraudulently wearing military uniforms or claiming military service for personal gain. You walked into this court wearing a uniform you never earned, claiming service you never gave, trying to get money from a business based on a lie. Do you understand how serious that is? Marcus mumbled something inaudible. Speak up. Yes, Your Honor. Now let me ask you directly, did you serve in the United States Marine Corps? The moment of truth, Marcus could keep lying, which would make everything worse, or he could admit it. No, Your Honors. Did you serve in any branch of the military? No, Your Honors. Where did you get that uniform? I bought it online from a surplus store. And you put it on and came to my court to lie about your service to get what? A $10 discount. It was more than $10. I don't care if it was $100, you stole the honor of every man and woman who actually served. You disrespected their sacrifices, you lied to this court, and you did it wearing a uniform that represents values you clearly don't understand. Judge Stone took a breath, composing himself. Here's what's going to happen. First, I'm dismissing your claim against this business. They did nothing wrong. You're not entitled to a military discount because you're not military. Case dismissed. Second, I'm referring this matter to the district attorney's office for potential stolen valor charges. Whether they prosecute is up to them, but they'll have my full recommendation that they do. Third, I'm ordering you to surrender that uniform to this court immediately. You will not leave this building with it. And fourth, I'm placing you on a no-contact order with any veteran service organizations, any businesses offering military discounts, and any military installations. If you violate this, you will be arrested. Marcus nodded, his head down. Do you have anything to say for yourself? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught. Silence. That's what I thought. Get out of my courtroom. Marcus's case wasn't unique. It was just one of thousands of stolen valor incidents that happen every year across America. What is stolen valor? Stolen valor is when someone falsely claims military service, awards, or decorations they didn't earn, typically for personal gain or prestige. This can include wearing military uniforms without having served, claiming medals or awards never received, lying about deployments or combat experience, faking military status for discounts, jobs, or sympathy, fabricating entire military careers. Why do people do it? Psychologists have identified several motivations. Financial gain. Military discounts can add up. Some businesses offer 10–20% off. Over time, that's real money. Some fakers have even scammed veteran benefits. Social status. Military service is respected in America. Claiming service gets you admiration, respect, and social capital you didn't earn. Identity issues. Some people feel inadequate in their real lives and adopt a military persona to feel more important or accomplished. Pathological lying. For some, lying about military service is part of a broader pattern of fabricating accomplishments and experiences. Exploitation. Some people specifically target veterans, veteran organizations, or patriotic communities to scam money or resources. How common is it? Studies suggest that for every real veteran, there might be several people who exaggerate or fabricate military service. The VA estimates that about 7% of the U.S. population are veterans, but surveys find that nearly 13% of Americans claim to be veterans, a gap that suggests millions of people are lying about service. Online, the problem is even worse. Stolen valor watchdog groups have documented thousands of cases of people creating fake military profiles on dating apps, running charity scams claiming to help veterans, applying for veteran-only jobs with fabricated records, collecting VA benefits they're not entitled to. The impact on real veterans. For people who never served, stolen valor might seem like a harmless lie, but for real veterans, it's deeply personal. Veterans describe the feeling as having your identity stolen, watching someone mock your sacrifices, seeing the uniform you earned treated like a costume, feeling like your service is being devalued. One Marine veteran put it this way: I lost friends in combat. I carry scars, physical and mental, from my service. When someone puts on the uniform as a costume, they're spitting on everything we sacrificed. The legal consequences. The Stolen Valor Act of 2013 makes it a crime to fraudulently claim certain military decorations with intent to obtain money, property, or other tangible benefit. Penalties can include up to 1 year in prison for claiming certain medals, fines up to $100,000, permanent criminal record, public humiliation when cases go viral. Many states have additional laws specifically targeting stolen valor. How to spot stolen valor. Real veterans and military watchdog groups have identified common red flags. Uniform issues. Wrong fit or tailoring. Incorrect ribbons or medals. Misplaced insignia or patches. Mixing uniforms from different branches. Wearing unauthorized items. Language issues. Using terms incorrectly like ex-Marine. Not knowing military jargon. Unclear about basic details, unit MOS duty station. Inconsistent stories. Behavioral issues. Overly eager to discuss service. Vague about specific details. Defensive when asked for proof. Stories that don't add up. Documentation issues. Can't produce DD-214 discharge papers. No military ID. Records don't match claims. Dates and timelines don't make sense. How to handle suspected stolen valor. If you suspect stolen valor, don't confront violently. Legal and social consequences are more effective than physical confrontation. Ask questions. Real veterans can provide specific details about their service. Fakers often can't. Request documentation. If someone is claiming veteran status for benefits, asking for proof is reasonable. Report to authorities. If fraud is involved, report to police or veteran organizations. Expose publicly carefully. Many stolen valor cases are exposed on social media, but be certain of your facts before publicly accusing someone. Marcus's case became viral because it happened in a courtroom, official record. A real veteran in a position of authority confronted the faker. The confrontation was measured but powerful. Justice was served immediately. But for every case like Marcus's that gets attention, hundreds go unnoticed. After Marcus left Judge Stone's courtroom, the video of the confrontation was posted online. Court proceedings are public record in most jurisdictions. Within 48 hours, it had been viewed over 5 million times. Comments flooded in. Veterans thanking Judge Stone for defending the uniform. Civilians expressing outrage at Marcus's deception. Other stolen valor stories being shared. Debates about appropriate punishment. Marcus's identity was eventually discovered, though we're not using his real name in this video. His social media accounts were flooded with criticism. His employer, a company that prided itself on hearing veterans, fired him immediately. According to public records, the district attorney did file charges under the state's stolen valor statute. Marcus pleaded guilty and received 6 months probation, $2,500 fine, 100 hours community service at a VA hospital, mandatory counseling, public apology posted on his social media. The judge in that criminal case noted, "Perhaps working alongside real veterans will teach you the respect you should have had all along." Marcus's criminal attorney told reporters, "My client made a terrible mistake. He's deeply ashamed and accepts full responsibility. He hopes the veteran community can eventually forgive him." But online, the reaction was less forgiving. His name became synonymous with stolen valor. The video of Judge Stone's confrontation will follow him forever. As for Judge Stone, he became something of a folk hero in the veteran community. He was interviewed by veteran publications and praised for his measured but firm response. In one interview, Judge Stone explained his thinking. "I see a lot of cases in my courtroom. I try to be fair, impartial, and understanding. But when someone walks into my court wearing the uniform I earned, claiming service they never gave, trying to profit from a lie, that crosses a line. That's personal, and I wasn't going to let it slide. At the same time, I'm still a judge. I can't lose my composure. I can't threaten violence. I have to handle it within the boundaries of the law, so I use the tools available to me: judicial authority, referral to prosecutors, and public accountability." Did I take it personally? Absolutely, but I also handled it professionally, and I hope anyone watching understands stolen valor has consequences. Judge Stone's approach became a model for how to handle stolen valor cases: firm, public accountability combined with legal consequences. Marcus's case raises important questions about military service, respect, and how we honor those who serve. Why does military service deserve special recognition? In America, we have an all-volunteer military. Nobody is forced to serve. Those who choose to join make significant sacrifices. Time away from family. Risk of injury or death. PTSD and mental health challenges. Physical disabilities from service. Lower pay than equivalent civilian jobs. Loss of control over where they live and work. In exchange for these sacrifices, society offers respect, honor, and some tangible benefits like VA healthcare, education benefits, GI Bill, home loan guarantees, military discounts at businesses. When someone fakes service to get these benefits, they're not just lying, they're stealing resources meant for people who actually sacrificed. Is stolen valor victimless? Some argue that stolen valor is a harmless lie. If someone wants to pretend they served, who cares? But it's not victimless. Financial fraud. Stolen valor is often used to scam money, whether through fake charities, unearned discounts, or veteran benefits. Emotional harm. Real veterans feel personally violated when they encounter fakers. It diminishes the value of their real service. Resource diversion. Limited veteran resources, benefits, jobs, services are sometimes taken by people who didn't earn them. Cultural impact. When fakers are exposed, it can make people skeptical of real veterans, questioning their service. Should we question veterans? This is a delicate balance. Most veterans don't want to carry documentation everywhere or be constantly questioned about their service. But businesses offering military discounts have a right to verify eligibility. And when something seems obviously fake, like Marcus's uniform, people have a right to call it out. The key is respectful verification versus accusatory confrontation. What should the punishment be? Opinions vary. Some argue stolen valor should be a felony with serious prison time. The uniform and service are sacred, and lying about it deserves harsh punishment. Others argue that unless there's fraud, actually stealing money or benefits, it should be handled through public shamming and social consequences rather than criminal penalties. The current legal framework splits the difference. Fraud involving military decorations is criminal, but simply wearing a uniform or claiming service is harder to prosecute unless tangible benefits are obtained. How can we support real veterans? Instead of focusing only on punishing fakers, we should properly fund veteran services. Ensure real veterans get the healthcare, mental health services, and benefits they've earned. Hire veterans. Businesses should actively recruit and support veteran employees. Listen to veteran stories. Real veterans often hesitate to discuss their service. Creating space for them to share if they choose is valuable. Verify respectfully. If offering military discounts or benefits, verification systems should be easy, respectful, and efficient. Call out stolen valor. When you encounter it, don't ignore it, but handle it legally and respectfully. Judge Dennis Stone's confrontation with Marcus wasn't just about one case in one courtroom. It was a moment that resonated with millions of people because it represented something important. Accountability, respect, and the idea that some things like military service are too sacred to fake. Marcus thought he could put on a uniform, walk into a courtroom, and get what he wanted through deception. He thought nobody would know the difference. He thought a judge would just see the uniform and assume he'd earned it. He was wrong. Because Judge Stone didn't just see a uniform, he saw a costume, he saw a lie, and he saw disrespect for everything he and his fellow Marines had sacrificed. And he did something about it. The lesson here isn't just about stolen valor, it's about integrity. It's about the fact that your lies will eventually catch up with you. And when they do, especially when you're lying to someone who knows the truth, the consequences can be swift, public, and permanent. For every real veteran watching, thank you for your service. Your sacrifices matter, your service matters, and you deserve to have that service honored truthfully. For everyone else, if you didn't serve, don't pretend you did. Respect those who actually earned the title. And if you encounter stolen valor, call it out, because silence enables fraud. If you're a veteran and this video resonated with you, drop a comment with your branch and years of service. Let's honor real service in the comments. If this video taught you something about stolen valor or military respect, hit that like button. If you want to see more cases where justice meets accountability, subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you know a veteran, thank them, not just on Veterans Day or Memorial Day, but any day. Their service deserves recognition, real recognition, not the fake kind Marcus was trying to steal. Share this video with anyone who needs to understand why stolen valor matters and why faking military service isn't a harmless lie. Thanks for watching. Semper Fi to all the real Marines out there, and to everyone else, respect the uniform, it was earned.